Welcome to another Hard Target Range. Today we're looking at the Sig Sauer P220 Hunter. What a fantastic gun. Out of all the firearms I've owned or shot in my lifetime, with the exception of, for a long time, probably around 7 years, I carried an H&K P9S, which is, what an accurate gun that was. But this firearm is incredibly accurate, and there's just something about shooting a 10mm that just makes you glad you're alive. I just absolutely love this gun. The Sig P220 10mm Hunter with the cryptic finish. And when I first bought it, if you saw that video where I unpacked it, I wasn't really hot on the finish on this thing. Yeah, matter of fact, I hated it, and it's kind of grown on me, and I kind of like it. And the more and more I look at it, I realize that it probably only take maybe 2 or 3 years, and this is really going to be dated. Yeah, it's going to be like a pair of bell bottoms. But you know, Mr. Holster, he likes old stuff, so the sooner that happens, probably the better. I'll like the gun better once it's dated. But what a fantastic firearm. The other thing I did not like about it are the sights. Now, the rear sight is a target sight, which, yeah, Mr. Holster and target sights, I don't really care for them. They just rip up my sport coats, and they never seem to be all that stable. You have to shim them with something once you get them set to where you want them to get them to not bounce around. And the front sight, fiber optic sight with a tritium night sight front, which works absolutely great. However, yeah, I found that the fiber optic sights, I don't do as good a job as I do with just a clean blade sight. I get a more precise, accurate shot with those. Maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel. The other thing I don't like about it is how it extends so far from where it's attached. I feel like if I bump that on something, that sight's going to have problems. So I wasn't keen about the front sight. The back sight, I'm just not keen about target sights. I'm not complaining about this sight. Just saying. I just soon have fixed sights on anything I have, as long as they're centered, because they'll work if they're centered. But at any rate, those were the only things I didn't like when I bought it. But what a fantastic gun to shoot as soon as I shot it. I just loved it. Part of the reason I really love it is the G10 Piranha grips that has on there. G10 is like the old micarta, which is as hard as a rock and really tough for you to screw up. You know, the old beautiful wood grips they had on the guns back in the day, they looked great, but didn't take long for somebody like me to really make them look awful. Between getting too much oil on them and it's sucking it up and pretty much bumping into everything on the planet, yeah, they didn't look so good. I really like this type of grip that's, yeah, it's made for guys like Mr. Holster. They can beat it up and it still looks fantastic. But the thing I really like about it is you grab it and it doesn't feel so aggressive, but it is very aggressive. And when you shoot it, it stays in place, but yet it doesn't rip your hand up. Just something about it for me that just works great. I love these grips. Fantastic grips. Of course, the Sig P220 Hunter is based on the old Sig P220 45 ACP, which is one of the first firearms they went into production with that put them on the map. That gun was, I say, a double action, single action, because the first trigger pull is double action, then after that it's single action, and then you have a decocker to decock it because the hammer stays back after you shoot it. So I say that. I've heard a lot of people say it's a single action, double action. Whatever, but yeah, tomato, tomato, but I say it's a double action, single action. This is not. This is a single action only, like a 1911. You notice it's cocked and locked, and it's got an ambidextrous safety that works with your thumb, almost identical to a 1911. And it just works fantastic, and this gun shoots so accurately and is such a nicely made firearm, made entirely out of stainless steel. Yeah, and then the cryptic finish. But what a fantastic, fantastic firearm. It's got an 8-round magazine. And I really, really like this firearm. Out of all the firearms I've owned in my life, the only one I would put ahead of this as being one I really enjoyed and was very, very accurate. This is a very accurate firearm, however. That would be my H&K P9S that I carried for about 7 years. Was a fantastic gun. And I probably like that. It's probably a toss-up between the two of which one I prefer. Just a fantastic gun. Well, there you go, guys. There's the Sig P220 10mm Hunter. I'll leave you with a little more shooting at the hard target range with this. Yeah, shooting at those beautiful AR-500 steel hard targets by Hard Target. And if you want to get some of those for yourself, all you got to do is follow the link down below and ask Gil to help you out. He'll set you up with some beautiful, beautiful steel targets. And Gil's a great guy, and I have to take this opportunity to thank Gil because the hard target range wouldn't even exist if it weren't for Gil and his help. Thank you, Gil. And thank you for tuning in this week. I'll leave you with that footage. Oh, what a nice gun. Here ends another episode of Hard Target Range. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, from Mr. Holster and Jack, make this day count, and what a beautiful day it is, too. And go out and stay safe.